We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up.
That lake of fire is right here.
You never know who we gonna have on here.
You
never know. You can't expect the precinct officer to come by. He gonna be on here taking. The first wave was passed, the second wave passed, and the third wave coming quickly. You understand? They over there going nuts in the Middle East. And it's not gonna let up. We not here for your feelings. You understand me? So if you all in your feelings, you just such emotional person, man, you might want to tune in to Joel Osteen.
I got tunnel vision. It's a bunch of ways I'm gonna get it. It's my way or the highway if you don't stay about our fucking business. These niggas don't even get it. We having our Passover no matter if they fucking with it. The graveyard ain't never full, watch me flush them out. Quitting wasn't never cool, fuck they talking about. If you can't suffer with your brothers, we can't stall them out. Just hang their cover in the school if they dropping out, fuck them. If they ain't here, we don't care, we don't love them. If there was never one rush, you can't trust them. They get the guts to go against you, better crush them. It's like one of my men is bitch in the discussion. Niggas capping when they rapping, really lit as shit. They be acting, I ain't laughing, I be sick of it. When I grab a pen and get the right and hold a rubber grip, I'm holding fire just like Captain at the 55th. Damn. Hit the road, I be trucking. I ain't bragging about them roads, I be touching. Heard the chat about the bros and assumptions. Seen them hoes, you be crushing. You's a bold motherfucker. If they ain't here, we don't love them. If there was never one rush, you can't trust them. They get the guts to go against you, better crush them. I'm not here for all that fucking.
Can't trust them. My shield bustin', let it swing, never tuck. They taking shots, I send them back. Only difference, my shit is buckets. I leveled up, blow the trumpets. You a sucker. Keep dreaming all that pillow talking. You do undercover. Watch my brother, same year, same cover. Can't take the heat and get the fuck up out the oven. And before I ever burn the bridge, I'ma burn rubber and lead a scene. Smoky during rush hour, Chris Tucker. Used to torch on everything, but I was younger. Bad pack, still blazing all summer, nigga. Fuck, no cowards. Trooper mood, all black, same hunger. They surprised how I got it inside. Straight butter, nigga.
So when a brother or sister comes in here and then you leave here, you're not with me. We don't have anything else in common. There's no reason for me to be joined with you anymore.
If they ain't here, we don't love them. If there was never one rush, you can't trust them. They get the guts to go against you, better crush them. I'm not here for all that fuss and use a hoe in the discussion, nigga.
Culture.
Wave that One West cover out that window. Let them know I'm coming with my kinfolk. Red letter, ski mask on, but I don't really ski though. Bullets ball head like they going through chemo. I slide on them Tony Hawk type. Better get your thoughts right. Jumping high on walls, this ain't Fortnite. Red dot, it kinda make it way too easy for a headshot. I put you under wing, it turned into a headlock. I told my niggas think it's time to put the pressure on. You bring that paper, told her throw a little extra on. We go to war and see a murder one, you murder two, it ain't the same degree. Better up into a capital offense for them dollars, but it really don't make sense. Guns behind tents with some liquor and we riding down the freeway. Slide on them, spin the block and replay, so we slide again.
You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them niggas, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fried. If they ain't one of mine, so they ain't tied. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them niggas, slide again.
We got this mapped out. Niggas selling wolf tickets, not living what they rap out. Said he gon' ride, too emotional, he'll crash out. And I ain't boxing, wrestle with this cannon, you gon' tap out. 100 troopers in the building, turn this shit into a blackout. We both come from the mother, why you trying to do me dirty? He cut himself off, we let him rock, he ain't worthy. You playing ball courts, throwing number like a jersey. While niggas folded like origami, I kept it sturdy. Told my son he got the blood of a king, he ain't got a word. They gon' cross you like a Christian, it's better to learn this early. They be watching, trying to copy, asking questions, trying to learn me. I ain't in the back and forth if the business don't concern me. Catch the wrath from my anger, I be trying to give a mercy. Ask the angels keep me covered, I'ma slide, they might have heard me. They playing with that fire, get you close, it's gonna burn me. We ain't never looking back, moving forward, it's the journey.
You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them niggas, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fried. If they ain't one of mine, so they ain't tied. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide. Look, little nigga, I'm made. All these rappers soft, claim they all cut from a hold of a clove. I'm the one with the blade. Untamed gorilla, keep your hands out the cage. I be standing on they neck, one west to the grave. You can keep your mercy, nigga, I ain't worried. Revenge call me buddy love, I call her Miss Purdy. Nigga try to blitz, I'm going 730. I'ma shake the whole room like Big Shirty. Nigga say one war, it's whatever, buddy. Glock fully loaded, you know these letters bloody. Come for me, you a bitch, homie. Boy, I'm realer than your big homie. But 44, yeah, the one and only. And you know I keep this blick on me. Body slam you like Mick Foley. I got that black out on my arm, play that bitch like a violin. Say me try me once, nigga, try again. You know my position, I'm on standby. Ain't no competition, it's a landslide. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them niggas, slide again. Niggas claim they hot, but we been fried. If they ain't one of mine, so they ain't tied. Or you a rider, motherfucker, ride again. You said you slide on them niggas, slide again.
Okay, I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. Stand up. Okay, standing on business. Ain't no such thing as limits. You want it, you go and get it. Stand up. Okay, we standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. Focus on the mission, my niggas stand at attention. Everything is in order, no moving without permission. I came up out the trenches with nothing but good intentions. A hustle to go and get it, cause winning is my religion. Destroying my competition, and they don't know what happened to them. Stop achieving our goals and start achieving platinum. Infinity and countless, stay flowing just like a fountain. No doubt I'm betting 1,000. I'm talking about moving mountains. Stay on point like a scale. Only time will tell if the goal ain't about victory. You done already failed. Stop building somebody else's dreams, build it yourself. A grindaholic, my next day off a cold day in hell. Gathered all my dreams, turned them into reality. Steady chasing the green, maximizing my salary. That's food, though. You niggas ain't eat them empty calories. Raising the bar, setting the standard for niggas out. Okay, I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. Stand up. Okay, we standing on business. Ain't no such thing as limits. You want it, you go and get it. Stand up. Okay, we standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. We never take taking losses. We bossing up on the bosses, a winner's mentality. Just another day at the office, they perpetrators. They ain't doing nothing. These niggas talking, I'm going in. The only thing they going is a coffin. See, I plan, plot, strategize. Why they just romanticize? Wanna have it on earth, ain't waiting on the afterlife. They math ain't math right. You know all these rappers last time I checked, I was the man since trap. Okay, I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. I'm 10 foot tall when I'm standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. Stand up. Okay, standing on business. Ain't no such thing as limits. You want it, you go and get it. Stand up. Okay, standing on business. If you a real nigga, maybe you can stand with me. Stand up.
All right, we live.
Old sign Christ. Clap it up. Old sign Christ, man. We back at it again. ISUPK headquarters under Commanding General Yohana. I am Priest and Officer of 5,000 Yatazar Banloya. I got my brother right next to me, Officer Shaya Allah.
You already know.
And we are here for the Feast of Dedication, man. Give it up to the Most High one
Yeah.
more time, man. You know, I was telling some Levites, some Haitians the other day that, 1803, a lot of people know about, the Haitian Revolution that was successful. But, because of our oppressors, man, we don't know that a lot of our people, we are disconnected from the Bible. And when we read the Bible, we don't know that we are reading about our people. And it's not the first time that we went to war with our enemies. We've been going to war with these people, man. This is what we are about to get into with the scriptures in the book of Maccabees. We're about to show you how our enemies, they came against us like they always do. They always come against us. And we prevailed against them in time past. And as a people, what we ought to know is that we will prevail again, man. We will prevail again. And this is what the ISUPK is here for, to wake up our people so we can get back to our glory, man. Aisha, you want to say anything?
No, that's you said it factually. And everything that's happening in this story is playing out in front of us today. And that's why it's so heavy to learn everything, to celebrate the Most High, delivering us from our enemies, trying to push their culture on us, trying to destroy our culture. It's so important that we learn from that and apply it to what we're seeing in front of us today, because it's the same story. And that's why the Ishman doesn't understand this holiday.
Right.
They got to make up a whole new story for what they call Hanukkah,
right.
Which Hanukkah is the dedication, Hanukkah in the Hebrew. Right. And they got to make up a whole new story about some miraculous oil burning for 8 days, which has nothing to do with the real story of the Most High giving us a victory over our enemies and restoring us to our culture. And that's a beautiful thing.
Right, because they were not oppressed. They were not the oppressed people of the Bible, man. And we're about to get into it. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees, man. We're going to start from the beginning. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. That's where we're going to kick it off at, man.
First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
All right. And as you know, the Israelites, we were under the Persians' captivity. We were under the Persian captivity. We went through so many captivities, man. When you are looking at us today, you see us under, the French, you see us under the United States, England, you see us under Spain. All across the Caribbean, our people have been oppressed by the descendant, guess what, of these same people that we are reading about in the Bible. Keep going.
And Medes, that he reigned in his stead.
And this is when the Persians are losing their power. The Persians are losing their power to Alexander at this point in history. We're talking about a few centuries prior to Christ. Christ is not on the scene yet. Over here, we are in the BC era.
All right, keep going.
If I could, a real quick shout out to everybody joining us on Instagram now. We're broadcasting live on ISUBK HQ on Instagram. Shout out to Jersey in the building.
Most High in Christ. And shout out to ISUBK. Are we on mute here? I see a mute. Oh, is that the volume?
No, that's the
okay,
volume.
con. And shout out to ISUBK Haiti on TikTok. Shout out. Give yourself a hand, man, if you are tuned in right now to ISUBK, right?
And of course, shout out to everybody joining us on One West Online classes on the main channel.
Most High in Christ. Let's keep going.
The first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds.
And he won after he conquered, or I would say overthrew the Persian Empire. He made many wars, man. And this is our oppressors. Our oppressors are always spreading their power. They are always trying to spread their stronghold all across. And at this point, he was going and making out many wars. Keep going, that we are reading about.
And slew the kings of the earth.
And slew the kings of the earth. Keep going.
And went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
And when it says the earth was quiet before him, it's like, well, I can say at this point now, but there was a point of time, man, when America, everybody bowed down to America, man. Right now, what you are seeing is the fall of Babylon. You are seeing the fall of America. So you see nation like China, that's standing up to America. You see nation like North Korea, even Venezuela. But there was a point of time, man, America was like, whatever America said goes. But that petrodollar is losing a lot of power. So when he says the old earth was quiet before him, that means nobody was trying to have war. Nobody was because their empire was the strongest.
Right.
It's just like the French Empire. The French Napoleon had the strongest army at some point until they were defeated. So at this point, all the nations, they were quiet before him. Keep going.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries.
And rule over countries, man, ruling over territories that don't belong to them. That's what they do. Ruling over countries, man. They got, because their power is in what? Weapons. Our oppressor was blessed with the sword. That's where their power resides. So they have a strong army. Now that they got a strong army, they look at it like, you know what? We can take over now.
Right.
Keep going.
And kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them.
So now, when he's about to die, what he did is separate his power. He separated his power among his man that was the closest to him. He separated his power so that now his kingdom is going to be divided among the different branches of people that he separated his power to. Aisha, if you want to say anything, you could time in. All right, keep going.
While he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years.
And this is what we need to stop. These people, they need no crowns. They don't need no power.
Right.
They do not, because when they get their power, what do? They pass it down to their sons. And the sons pass it down to their sons' sons. This is why in the book of Isaiah, it says what? Prepare slaughter for their children, man, for the iniquity of the forefathers. Because these people do not need no crowns. They do not need no power. Because when they have the power, we can see the earth, the entire earth is in mourning. Keep going.
And on that, that's so heavy, because you see in this story how there was a ruler that it seemed like there was peace, that he was giving us peace. And then you see how quickly, when power switched, they went on demon time full force. So even if they have somebody that seems like it's okay,
right,
as soon as they pass that to the next Edomite, who knows what they're gonna do? Who knows what level of cruelty they're gonna ramp up and what level of repression they're gonna ramp up on us.
Right. Keep going.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
And what do we see here? We see a transfer of power. This is what we see here, a transfer of power. And this is something that, as a people, in the ISUPK, Commanding General Yohana understand this very well. The ISUPK is the place where you come, and the man above you is working to transfer power unto you.
Right.
This is not a place where you come like in the Christian church. The pastor is going to be the pastor. He's going to be that leader until he dies. He's not going to pass no power unto the next generation, not in the ISUPK, because there is supposed to be a transfer of power that is supposed to take within the nation of Israel. This is how we fight our enemies. And when we get to chapter 2, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But here we can see it with our oppressors. We can see it with our oppressors. They gain power and they make sure that the next generation gain power so they can rule over these Negroes, so they can rule over our people. Keep going.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes.
And they were all wicked. But this one, you know, like white people, all white people, we call what the white man what? We call the oppressor the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
But with Donald Trump, Donald Trump is like that. He is like that wicked one that we like, man. He make other white people look good, Aisha. He's so wicked. He make other white people look good. Well, that was him. That was Antiochus right there. He was so wicked. He made the other wicked people look good. Keep going.
Son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
All right, so now when you see today, right, we have men like Martin Luther King that is celebrated every January, right? It's coming up, January 19, I believe. We got men like Martin Luther King that is celebrated in this kingdom. We got other men, other people like Al Sharpton. We got people. Go ahead, Aisha. Black History Month in February, and we're going to get a plethora of Black people who basically help white society. So we are seeing this 2,000 years ago. This is prior to Christ. There was Israelite, there was Negroes in our nation that were doing the same thing that you see our people doing today, man, which is bow down to the oppressor. Read.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
And that's what they do. They persuade our people. And nobody wanted to go eat in them white restaurants until Martin Luther King persuaded them. And then when they're in the restaurant, they're like, damn, man, we was getting our behind whipped for this unseasoned meat.
This is what we fought for.
They didn't even fight. They got beaten. They didn't fight,
we got a milkshake poured on our heads.
Exactly, and these people in our nation, they existed 2,000 years ago. This is the same fight. This is why it's important for us as a people to hold on to the wisdom of the Most High, because when we stray away from them, you're going to see exactly what happened to us thousands of years ago, which is happening to us today in 2025. Keep going.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well.
And that's how they felt. Damn, man. Since we departed from the heathen, we ain't prospering like we should. You controlling your nation. That's prosperity. Being in control. Do you realize today, right? You see white children. Who teach white children? Who's teaching white children? Go ahead. White people. Who's teaching our children? White people. They are the one that's educating our children. Meanwhile, they educate their children. They brainwash their children. Our children, we should have power over our own children to teach them. But these Negroes, they feel like, man, you know, we need some white teachers, man. We need some white schools. We need to make a covenant with the heathen. Keep going.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king.
What verse you in?
Verse 13.
Keep going.
Who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
And you about to see right now, we got the World Cup. Levi are excited. You know, Levi going to the World Cup. You know, it's been 50 years. You know what that's going to do? It's going to put all that nation that is angry about what's going on in Haiti, everybody's going to sleep now. Because we going to a World Cup, Aisha. Haiti's going to we're going to be asleep. And this was the custom of the heathen, to keep us asleep. Give him bread, man. Give him exercise. Jump to verse 20.
And also on that place of exercise, that the Greeks were famous for these gymnasiums where they exercised stark butt naked, and they wrestled with each other butt naked because the Greeks were freaks and homosexuals, and they gym. It means naked. Man, that's heavy.
There you go.
And so they did this. In the next verse, it says, made themselves uncircumcised. So they was walking around
unclean
completely.
They were unclean. And that's what happened. That's what happened when you submit yourself to another nation. When you can control your destiny. You can be the one that says, you know what? We are not going to leave according to the Grecian. We're going to leave according to the ways of our forefathers. The way our forefathers live, that's how we're going to live, and that's how we're going to teach our children to live. Because that's what the oppressors did.
Right.
The oppressors, all they know is war. All they know is stealing and murder. That's all they know. So what do? They pass that culture to their children, so that their children can go and conquer us. Well, as a people, what we have to do is pass on our custom to our people. Keep going.
Verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with
all right. So now in the previous verses, it gives you the story how he attacked Ptolemy and then eventually conquered Egypt. So now it's going to get into the history about him going against our nation. All right. Remember, he was making war with many nations. He did not attack Israel yet. Israel went on and did what? Made a covenant with the oppressor. And what happened to us when we go and make a covenant with the oppressors? This is it right here. Read that part again.
And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem.
And now here comes the oppressor to conquer us. You wanted to make a covenant with them, right? This is the result. Keep going.
With a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar.
And listen, when it says enter proudly, picture Esau coming here right now and taking our menorah on top of this, on top of our table right here, man. This will be like an abomination to us.
Which they try.
This is exactly how they entered Jerusalem. With a strong host. And did what? Keep going.
And took away the golden altar.
Took away the golden altar. Just like they did not too long ago, 1915 Haiti. Keep going. Robbed us blind. Keep going. So like it.
And the candlestick of light.
And the menorah. Keep going.
And all the vessels thereof.
Keep going.
And the table of the showbread. And the pouring vessels. And the vials. And the censers of gold. And the veil. And the crowns. And the golden ornaments that were before the temple. All which he pulled off. He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found.
Basically, robbed us blind. What was that verse?
That was verse 23.
23. Read 24, then jump to 29.
And so wait, so the second that we made a deal with them, they came in and plundered and robbed us blind.
And it goes back to what the Most High told us from the get-go. It goes back to the word of Moses. What did Moses tell us? Moses told us what? We are a separate people, man. And we are to remain separate so that we can be what? So that we can be above all nations.
Right.
When you don't want to be separate, what happened to you? When you don't want to be separate, just like Aisha did, the minute we went and wanted to have a covenant, wanted to have a contract, wanted to have a deal with the oppressor, what happened to us? Now they coming to rob us. Now they coming to oppress us. And we don't have the Lord on our side. The Lord is not on our side. Keep going.
Therefore, there was Slakia. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was great mourning in Israel.
And spoken proudly, spoken proudly, like our oppressors do today. They are proud with that Thanksgiving, man. They proud with it. They make a holiday out of it. They make a holiday out of unaliving our people. And this is nothing new. We are reading about it right here in the book of Maccabees, 2,200 years ago. Keep going, Aisha. This time was 12?
It should be 12.
Was it 12?
It was 12. It was just it might have been coming through the phone and not the mic.
Okay.
What was that, verse 24?
Mm-hmm.
And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
Jump to verse 29 now.
Verse 29. And after 2 years, fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah.
So now, picture this, right? 2 years prior, robbed us blind, man, and committed a great massacre on our people, man. And now 2 years later, read that part again. This is what happened 2 years later. After all the unaliving that we read about in the previous verses, after they robbed us, after they came to the temple and took the menorah, took all our gold, took everything that we had, 2 years later, this is what happened. This is the oppressor.
And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them.
And spake what?
Peaceable words.
Give me Psalm, what's that? 55 Psalm, Psalm 55 and 20. Is that 55? You know what I'm looking for, right?
Come on. But this is just everything that we touch on as we go through this story is what's in front of us today. We got oppressors speaking peaceable words, plundering us, using deceit to convert us to their ways and then abuse us. It's the same story.
20. God.
Psalm 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
And we were at peace with them, man. We were at peace. Can you imagine? They've committed a great massacre on your people 2 years ago. Why are they able to come back, Aisha? Why are they coming back 2 years later? You know why?
Why?
Because they were not hurt. They were comfortable to come back. Because 2 years prior, if you had your army destroyed, you will not come back 2 years later. The reason that they were so comfortable to come back 2 years later is because they felt so powerful that it's like, we destroyed them 2 years ago, let's go back.
So you're telling me that if you oppress a people and can put your culture on them, that you could go in, massacre, abuse, and rob them, leave, and come back 2 years later, and they're gonna believe you still coming in peace? That sounds familiar.
Well, let's see. It exactly sounds familiar because that's why. Matter of fact, sidebar real quick, right? Just 2 weeks ago, there is a white man, Jeriah Mass. Jeriah Mass, he is a missionary from Ohio, and he was arrested. Guess for what, Aisha?
What?
He was arrested for having, because of the internet sake, for having relation with little boys in Haiti. In 2025. So from 2000, I believe, from 2006 or 2003 all the way to 2017, he was going to Haiti over 30 times, a missionary from Ohio. You know why? Because our people have never learned the lesson to not allow the oppressor in. How many times have we, for the history of the Catholic Church, the history of missionaries coming to our countries to have relations with little boys, when is it we going to say, nah, you can't come here? We don't care. We don't want your Jesus. We don't want you to be here. We keep accepting them. The same way, what happened here?
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
Read 21.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Now go back to First Maccabees. Remember that. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But what? Read the latter part.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. Now go back to Maccabees.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 30. And spake peaceable words unto them.
All right. That's the words of his mouth being smoother than butter. Spoke peaceable words. Keep going.
But all was deceit.
All was deceit. You know why? Just like it says in Psalm, war is in their heart. That's why they come in with that peace talk. That's why Bill Clinton went in Haiti and had his honeymoon in Haiti. You know why? Because he already foresaw, I'm about to destroy, I'm about to break this island. He went there with peaceable word. That's what they did over here in America. Peaceable word. That's how they got Mexico. That's how they got New York. That's how they got everywhere. They go with peaceable words. Keep going.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore.
When are we going to learn this about our oppressor? We had men back then who learned this. These men, they were no cowards. These men were one West. We're about to get into it. Keep going.
And destroyed much people of Israel.
And they destroyed our people, man. This is our history with our oppressors. This is it. It's either as a people, we're going to gather together so that we can rule ourselves, or we're going to submit to them and let them rule over us. In the ISUPK, we have learned the lesson. We've learned the lesson, and this is why we are gathering together, man, because we are in captivity, and we cannot get out of this captivity unless we gather together as a people, man. All 12 tribes of Israel. All right, all 12 tribes of Israel. Jamaica cannot get out of this by itself. Haitian cannot get out of this by itself. Mexicans, you cannot get out of this by yourself. And this is what, this is what everybody wants. This is what the oppressor wants. The oppressor wants the Mexicans. Just worry about the Mexicans. You Negroes, you FBA. Don't worry about what's happening to the Mexicans.
Right.
Don't worry about what's happening to the Haitians. Just worry about yourself. That's what everybody else wants. Why? Because they want to make sure that we are a weak people. There, I show you.
No, you beat me to it.
Oh, God. Say it anyway. It's a lie.
No. So you saying the FBA can't get it themselves?
Right.
By alienating us from all the other tribes.
Right. Exactly. Keep going.
Verse 31. And when he had taken on the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
Go to verse 34.
Verse 34. And they put
keep going to verse 34.
But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle.
What did those two white men from, what's that, from Texas? These two white men from Texas, they were going to Haiti for what? What did they say they were going to do, Aisha?
They said they were going to execute all the men and enslave the women and children.
And read that again.
And they put therein a sinful nation, Salaki. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle.
Now, this is 2,000 years ago. And we had two white men 2 or 3 weeks ago from Texas. They were arrested. Why? Because they were going to do exactly what their forefathers did to our people 2,000 years ago in the island of Haiti, Lago Nave. Go ahead, sis.
I just found out there was an active shooter at Brown University.
Right.
And that's a no doubt. They killed some people and they had the university know about it.
Right.
Nobody knew about it because I saw it on CNN.
Yeah. It's been out for a while. That was yesterday, right? Yeah, that happened yesterday. Yeah, sis. That's our oppressors, man.
Mm-hmm.
Our oppressors are just a violent, they are just a wicked people, man. That's why as a people we gotta get our act together, man, because these people, they belong in a cage. They belong in their place.
On a leash.
And we are the nation that are going to put them in their place. We are going to civilize them because they need to be civilized. The oppressor needs to be civilized because they do not know what it is to be civilized. They do not know what it is to have compassion, even when they are on top. Even when they have all the riches, they don't know what it's like to have compassion on the weaker. They don't know it. Keep going.
And if you can't tell by now, the only way the so-called white man can be civilized is without any ability to move or do anything. He has to be under rule. He has to be under an iron fist, because this keeps happening. This story keeps repeating itself. Verse 33, then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers and made a stronghold for them. And they put their
right in our home, man. Right in our home, making a stronghold for them. Now, America is for them now. Canada is for them now. Haiti is for them now. You know what? Puerto Rico is for them now. They home. And then they call you an alien. They say, you Mexicans need to go home. You Jamaicans, you Haitians need to go home. This is our oppressors, man. And right now, they in the land of Israel. Well, the little part they carved to say that's the land of Israel. Right. They committing genocide on the Palestinians right now, starving the babies. Why? Because the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And they will never stop until Israel, we rise up, until the Most High, through the power of the Most High, man, they get put in their place. Keep going. And real quick, right? You know, there was a video, man. I've been looking for that video. Aisha, I was supposed to send you that message because I know you can find it. We got videos, man, of Palestinian women crying, saying Negroes. She didn't say Negroes. I think she said Black Americans or something. Yeah. I heard that you do not know you are the children of Israel. You are the real children of Israel. You need to come back. Even the heathen now, Aisha, want us to come back. Because they cannot handle it, what's happening to them. They can't handle it. They like, man, the Israelites need to come back because according to prophecy, when we are back in our homeland, there will be peace.
Right.
And they see that there is a man calling himself Jewish, and there's no peace there. There is no peace. Keep going.
They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there. And so they became a sore snare.
And they became a sore snare to us, man. And that's exactly what the Bible says in the book of Judges. That these nations round about us, they are snares to us, man. The minute that we go left, the minute that we do not live according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High God laid up for us to live as a people, these snares, they're gonna be right there to destroy us. They're gonna be right there. And that is supposed to be a reminder for us. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a reminder that, damn, you know what? We went astray. Let's get back on track. Let's go to Second Maccabees. First chapter 2. You could start at verse 1.
Chapter 2 and verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorid, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modan.
So now we learn about the man that went and made a covenant with the oppressors, right? We learn about these Israelites. But guess what? There was another breed of Israelites that was not like these leaders. They were not like the man who said, you know what, let's make a covenant with the heathen. You know, we need the white man by our side. There was another breed of Israelites, and we about to read about them right now. These brothers were one West. Let's go.
And he had 5 sons. Johanan called Caddis, Simon called Thasi, Judas who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan whose surname was Aphis.
All right, Judas who was called what?
Maccabeus.
Maccabeus. Oh man.
Oh no.
Yep, they got us.
What do we say?
We ain't say nothing. We ain't say
the white man is the devil.
White man is the devil. They got us. But
I'll
keep going.
It's probably something else.
Keep going. Keep going.
Judas, who was called Maccabeus, which that in the Hebrew is hammer, is it not? That's hammer in the Hebrew, because this was a brother that they knew was gonna go out and fight. And that's what we about to. Verse 5, Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, woe is me. Wherefore was I born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of the strangers? Her temple is become as a man without glory.
Her temple is what?
Is become as a man without glory.
And this is the state of our people today, man. When you look at us today, man, we are a people that is without glory, man. We are a people that, you know, the other nation, they just can say whatever they want to about us, you know, and it's like there is no power, there is no might in our hand, you know, to even get them to apologize. That is the state that we are in as a people. Whereas, you know, you say something about the Chinese, you know, in 2 weeks, they get a law passed, they get a bill passed, you know, but not us. Even the Somalians right now, you can tell these people, they are not the chosen people of God. Man. Because everybody want to stand up for the Somalians. What? Who stood up for us?
Right.
We've been going through this for how many hundreds of years, Aisha? Donald Trump for one day say something about the Somalians, and everybody wanna, you know, what the Somalian? How dare Donald Trump? Nigga, we've been going through this for hundreds of years.
The poor Somalians.
The poor Somalians. What about the brothers in Brooklyn?
Right.
In Chicago, in Detroit, Flint, Michigan? What about our people, man? Go ahead, sis.
So we don't know who we are, what our culture is, and where we're supposed to be. And as long as they keep us down, they can rise.
They rise off of our demise, off of our destruction. All right, keep going.
Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Her young men what?
With the sword of the enemy.
What does that sound like? Sounds like rolling
up on us.
No, he says her young man with the swords of the enemy. Sounds like the gangbangers, right? Whose swords they got in their hand? A lot of people always say, where do the guns come from? It's the guns of the enemy. Yeah, Aisha. Yeah. It's the sword of the enemy, man. So we can destroy each other. And our children, what did they say about our children?
Her infants are slain in the streets.
Slain. And now our infants are slain in the hospital. You know? It's just an embryo. It's not a life. Slain in the hospital, man, by the hundreds of thousands, 300, 400,000 a year. Keep going.
What nation has not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
What nation have not destroyed us? What nation have not destroyed us, man? Even here, New York is the perfect city to see this. When you come here, when you are in New York, man, you see everybody. I was in Queens, man. I'm looking at these East Indians. And I'm like, damn, man, these East Indians, they prospering, man. You see, they have like storefronts all over, and it's nothing but their people, man. They are prospering over us. We've been here for hundreds of years. We've been here forever. You know, the Chinese, you know, forget about it. What nation do not benefit from us being at the bottom of society? All of them benefit from it. They all benefit. Jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers.
No, jump. Salakia, I jumped too much. We went from what verse? 11?
16.
No, continue. We skipped something.
Verse 11. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she has become a bond slave.
Keep going.
And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer?
To what end? You know? And this is what happened. This is why a lot of our people, man, they end up in the street. They are homeless. They end up having a demon, man, where it's like, man, you know, they give up. You know, they just give up. You wanted to say something, Sean? Yeah, they just give up. They give up the spirit. It's like whatever. You know, you don't see like Officer Ashar. He did an interview with a brother, you know, recently where the brother was saying, you know, as a people, we just complacent. We're not trying to make no effort. You know, we just give up. You know. Because we see, well, what's the point? What's the point of being alive? What's the point of me trying to do anything? Because, you know, the white man's going to destroy it anyway. Because we've fought so much. And this is why it is important to come in this truth, man. Because when you come here, you're going to get the strength to endure till the end. Because that's what matters. What matters is that you endure till the end. It makes no point to, you know, be strong today if tomorrow you're going to fall, because that's what happened to these brothers. These brothers, they were strong men at some point, and then now they just give up the spirit. And they say, man, I'm just going to be a crackhead. I'm just going to be a homeless. You know, there's no point. Keep going. Go ahead, Ashar.
That's the type of attitude that leads to what happened out in Newark. You guys out there with the sister that probably lost her life right there in front of the camp.
Right, exactly. While we was at camp, man, the sister, she was ODing, man. Was it fentanyl, I believe? Yeah. It was, right? Yeah, she was ODing right there. And who is to blame? The oppressor is to blame, man. Because they are the reason why our people are on drugs. The scriptures tells you, man, oppression maketh a wise man mad. And you can see it. Our people are going mad. Our people are losing their minds, man. Why? Because of oppression. And that oppression made that sister lose her mind to the point where she's like, you know what? I'm just going to be a drug addict. And she damn near lost her life. We don't know any updates on that. But, you know, we pray for the sister, and Lord willing, man, she made it. All right? Keep going.
Then
Good point, Ashar.
Then Mattathias and his sons rent their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city Modan to make them sacrifice. And when many
What verse is that?
Verse 15.
Keep going.
And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city.
And this is something that when you look at the people, the prominent people in Israel, you know, the famous, the influencers, a lot of times you thinking that they are telling you, you know, they are giving you their perspective of life. But what they are truly doing is telling you what the oppressor told them to do. What they are doing is influencing you the way the oppressor wants you to be influenced. And this is exactly what we are seeing here in the book of First Maccabees chapter 2. We're going to see a group of oppressors coming to prominent men in Israel, men that, you know, the nation of Israel look up to. You know, our people, we look up to certain preachers, man. But guess what? These preachers, they were approached by a white man that said, you know what? I know that you are against abortion, but guess what? You know, even though you are against abortion, you can be you can be the friend of the president of the United States if you can influence the church to not be against abortion. You don't believe me? Keep reading that scripture. Let's see.
Now, therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment.
Come down first, because you, Mattathias, read the previous verse.
Verse 17, then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, Thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city.
Because you are a ruler, because you are an honorable man in this city, because everybody looks up to you. Keep going.
And strengthened with sons and brethren.
And you have a lot of strength. You got sons, you got brothers, and everybody look up to you. Everybody looks up to your family. Keep going.
Now, therefore, come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment.
You know why the oppressor do that? Because if they can convince a family that is prominent in Israel, a family that everyone looks up to, then guess what they can do? They can convince the entire nation of Israel. They don't need to convince the people. All they need to do is convince Jay-Z. Let's convince Jay-Z. Jay-Z is from Marcy Project. Everybody looks up to him. The whole hood looks up to him. Let's convince him to do what? You know, dumb down your, dumb down, what did he say? I dumb down my audience and double my dollars. Jay-Z, how about you dumb down your, audience?
Yeah.
You could double your dollars. What was that preacher that was against abortion? And then when he went to, ran for presidency, was it Jesse Jackson? Right. It was Jesse Jackson, right? At some point, Jesse Jackson, he was against abortion. And then a few moments later, right? A few moments later, now he is pro-abortion. A few moments later, Aisha, now he is pro-abortion. You know why? Because some oppressor came to him and said, you are a prominent man in Israel. You are an honorable man. How about you do the will of the president of the United States of America? In this case, how about you do the will of the king? Keep going.
Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him.
And everybody else did it. Everybody else did it. So now, how about you do it? Keep going.
And fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God,
what verse you in?
Verse 20.
God. Did you skip something? Verse 19. Read verse 19.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice.
Salakia. You read verse 18? Read verse 18.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done.
Okay, all the heathen have done it. So come and fulfill the king's what he says, ordinance, right? Fulfill the king's commandments. Everybody else did it. Keep going.
Like as all the heathen have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, and the men of Judah also.
And the men of Judah. Not only the heathen has done it, the men of Judah also. You got brothers, you got Israelite brothers, man, that did it already. So how about you, as a prominent man in Israel, how about you do the same? Keep going.
And such as remain at Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
Be in the number of the king's friends. You're gonna be the friend of the United States president. Right? You're gonna be the friends of Emmanuel Macron. You're gonna be our friends now. If you just tell your congregation, we are pro-abortion now. We are pro-LGBT now. That's all you got to do. Keep going.
And thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold.
And we're going to make sure you are rich. We're going to make sure of it. Commanding General Yohana did a lecture. What was that lecture? Where he brought out this rapper who was giving the story about the meeting that happened in the 90s, I believe. And that's when they were going to deviate hip-hop and to put it exactly where you see hip-hop is at today. White culture. Commanding General Yohana, he brought that story up, and that's exactly what our enemies did, man. They saw the power of our people coming together and just, having fun.
Right.
They saw that power. They saw the influence. They saw how we passed our message, man, our messages through our pain. And they said, nah, we gotta make sure we put our spirit on this right here. And they call out so many of your favorite artists today. And what did that do? That created slaves, new slaves for the people who own this record company, who also happen to own this privatized prisons. That's all it did. Why? Because we had a group of oppressors that came to a group of Israelites and told them, look, we are going to give you silver and gold if only you will obey the commandment of the king, of the record producer. Go ahead.
Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments.
And give consent. This is important. Give consent. That means you do it willingly. You willingly choose to go against your morals. You willingly choose to go against your forefathers. You willingly doing it. And Mattathias said, even though these people, they've done it, they consented, they chose to go against their morality, but guess what? Keep going.
Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
And this is important. This is the transfer that I was talking about, right? He said, read that part again.
Yet will I and
that's Mattathias. Keep going.
And my sons.
And my sons. That's his children. Keep going.
And my brethren.
And his brethren, his family.
Walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Walk in the covenant of our fathers. Because there is a knowledge and wisdom that was passed down to Mattathias. And guess what he did? He passed it down to his sons and his brethren. This is what the oppressor does. They passed on that war spirit to their children. They put crowns on them. Look, go hunt them. How about we do the same on the right side?
Right.
Keep going.
God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
Meaning, hell no. We ain't gonna forsake the laws and the ordinances. We ain't gonna do that. Keep going.
We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Now, this is the breed. This is the breed of black men that the ISUPK is raising, man, under commanding General Yohana.
Right.
We are not raising men that's going to say, you know what? Right now, we got men coming against, Captain Tazoyak talking about, the oppressor was right, y'all. That's what they said. They said, Captain Tazoyak, the oppressor was right. What are you talking about? What is ISUPK talking about? Commanding General Yohana taught you wrong, man. The oppressor was right. That's basically what these Israelites said. Not in the ISUPK, man. We are not raising these type of black men. The men that we are raising in the ISUPK, they are not going to bow down to the oppressor and accept nothing in their behind, man. Not in the UPK. The oppressor is not right. The oppressor was never right. The doctrine that we received from Christianity was never right. The true doctrine is in the ISUPK, man. Home of the truth since 1969. That's what it is. And y'all losing hair follicles over this thing, man. I need to, keep going.
Verse 24.
Cut it out.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
Inflamed with zeal. You skip, go ahead. Go back.
Verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modan, according to the king's commandment.
And that's a Jew that's talking about what y'all Israelites talking about, man? Black only, nah. What is ISUPK talking about? Salvation is for everybody, y'all. Keep going. Let's see what Mattathias did with that. Keep going.
Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
Man, you better thank God we are in the New Testament. Because according to Yah, we're in the Old Testament. You better thank God that we are in the New Testament with the doctrine that you are trying to impose on our people.
Right.
Better thank God we are in the New Testament. This is why this is not happening to you, because we are in the New Testament. Keep going.
Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
In the middle of Mattathias standing up for his morality, standing up for his people. Now you have a coon that's going to go against everything, go against his morality, go against his own people, and he paid for it.
A good American.
Yeah, good American, a good Christian. Keep going.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Yeah, this is not going to happen on our watch.
Right.
Jump to verse 27.
Verse 27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law.
Give me 26. I think there's something on this.
It's just thus dealt he zealous.
Okay, no, that's right. Okay, cut that.
And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him follow me, man. Whosoever is zealous, man. If you follow God, man, follow me. If you have the spirit of God in you, follow me. If you do not want to bow down to these people that's trying to make us go against our morality, that's trying to come and put this LGBT, spirit on us, that's trying to come and put this wicked abomination on us, follow me. Keep going.
So he and his sons fled into the mountains.
And they fled into the mountains, man. These were the first Maroons. You heard about the Maroons? These were the Maroons, man. That's the Maroons. They fled to the mountain. You know, they fled to the mountains, man, just like the Jamaicans did. Officer Hazahab, no, the Jamaicans fled to the mountains. The Maroons, they fled to the mountains. You know, the Haitians, they fled to the mountains. That's how, you know, a lot of our people, they revolted because they're going to make you believe that we didn't fight against slavery. We fought. The Brazilian, they fought against slavery through this process right here. When you go back into history, they call it marronage. That's how they call it, marronage. That's when, you know, these slaves, they flee to the mountains. And what they will do, they will attack the plantation at night and steal guns. And that's how they build strength. That's how they build strength. And then they basically form an army.
They have a whole new society in their comp. There was a good movie about the ones in Brazil. That the Portuguese couldn't even touch them.
Right.
They was up there for years and years, and they couldn't touch them.
Even in Jamaica, they have one still today in Jamaica that, you know, the British, they had to make a treaty with them. You know, because this our people been doing, man. It's not everybody that's willing to bow down to the oppressor. Not everybody want to bow down to the oppressor, man. And this is what we have to instill in our people. We have to instill this in our sons and our daughters, man. Because if we do not, the oppressor is going to instill the spirit of LGBT in them. That's what they're going to do. They're going to instill the spirit of cowardness in them. And it is on us to make sure that we instill the spirit on our people, man, on this generation that's coming up. We cannot go against our morality for silver and gold and Bitcoin.
Right.
We have to stand on business. Keep going.
That many and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
What verse we in?
Verse 30 now.
Verse 30, jump to verse 40.
Verse 40. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done.
Oh, matter of fact, what verse was that? Real quick, I'll just give the backdrop. Now, there were some Israelites, because they were being attacked on the Sabbath. You know what they did? They said, you know what? We got to observe the Sabbath, man. We ain't going to fight. It's the Sabbath. We cannot fight on the Sabbath. So if they attacked us on the Sabbath, we just going to die innocently, you know, and God is going to see. Basically, I'm just giving you the gist of it. You get a chance, you go read, you know, these verses. You know, we just going to die innocently, and God going to see that we didn't fight back because it was the Sabbath. Now read that verse.
And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth.
These brothers say, damn that. You know, may our brothers rise again, but we ain't going to go out like them. Because if we do, then they're just going to get rid of the nation of Israel. They're just going to get rid of us. Because it's the Sabbath, we're not going to fight. Keep going.
At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him.
Whoever it is that come against us, we're going to defend ourselves. Keep going.
Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places.
And we're not going to be unalive, man. Just like our brothers, because it was the Sabbath and they didn't want to fight. Keep going.
Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. And also all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them.
And these men were being persecuted, man. And what did they do? They joined, man. They gathered together. That's what we have to do as a people. We are all being persecuted. The Haitians are being persecuted. The Mexicans are being persecuted. The Venezuelans are being persecuted. The Jamaicans are being persecuted. Blacks in America being persecuted forever. We are all being persecuted, man. And what is the solution for us to come back together? Isn't that what it says in Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1? It says, gather together, O nation not desired. That's why we get persecuted, because we are not desired. This society do not desire us. This society want to see us at the bottom. They want to see us begging. That's the position the oppressor wants to see us, begging, because we are not desired here. And we have to come together as a nation, all 12 tribes of Israel. There's no tribalism in the ISUPK. No tribalism. No, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, and the Benjamin is the shit. We all the shit, excuse my language. Right. All of us. And no, I'm no black, I'm Dominican. And know that, right? And know that. And no, I'm no black, I'm Dominican. You black. We all black. We all Israelites. That's what it is, man. Keep going.
And also all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were a stay unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger.
And they did what?
Smote sinful men in their anger.
I'm telling y'all, man, y'all better thank the Lord. We're not in the new, not in the New Testament.
Right.
We are not. I'm Elijah. You better thank God. Let me say it correctly. You better thank God that we are in the new covenant, man. We are. Because there's men saying that we are still in the Old Testament, right? You know that?
Those are the same ones that are saying that Edomites can be saved.
They all the same. They all the same. They all the same. Keep going.
Then Salakia. And wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor.
Keep going.
Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars. And what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly.
What verse you in?
Verse 46.
Okay, keep going.
And they didn't do it with their mouths.
Hey, cut. For the record.
Verse 47. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So,
and they prospered, man. That's not. Now we are defending ourselves. You understand? Now we are controlling ourselves, man. We're not letting the enemy, impose his custom on us. This is what these men decided to do. These men did not decide to bow down to the oppressor and say, you know what, we're just gonna do as the Grecian wants. We're just gonna do the commandments of the kings. Can you picture this? We have commandments from God, and this, politician, this what you call them? What's that position that goes to different countries? There's a political term. These ambassadors come to talk about, you could be the friend of the king and do the king's commandment, and you're gonna get silver and gold for it. When we have our own commandments. Damn that. Keep going. Huh? Shalom. Tazada one. Shalom. Yahbashim Yah Shabrakatah. We got Officer Tazada one from Haiti tuned in. Shalom. Sakpasi. Keep going.
Now therefore, or Salaki, so they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles, out of the hand of kings. Neither suffered they the sinner to triumph.
What verse you're in?
Verse 49 now.
Okay.
Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength in the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
Say that again.
Be ye zealous for the law.
Now therefore, my son, be ye zealous for the law. Remember, Mattathias got this from his forefathers. And what did he do with this wisdom, with this knowledge, with this zeal? Pass it on to his children. What is that scripture? Somebody, Ashar, put it up for me. he that instruct his son grieve the enemy. I believe it's in Ecclesiasticus. Read that scripture again.
Now, therefore, my sons,
Mhm.
be zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Mhm.
Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
All right, what verse we're in?
52 now.
52. Jump to verse 69. Let's get grieve the enemy. 30 and 3. Get that for me, Ashar. Tawada.
Verse 69. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers.
All right. So now Mattathias, he's no longer with his sons and his brothers, right? He blessed them and was gathered with his fathers. Now jump to chapter 3, verse 1.
Chapter 3, verse 1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead.
Read that part again.
Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead.
Ashar, read that scripture.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
He that teacheth his son.
What did Mattathias do?
Teacheth his son.
Mattathias taught his children. Now he taught them. Keep going.
Grieveth the enemy.
And when you teach your sons, you are grieving the enemy. Why? Because your son is going to be just like you. And the enemy knows that he could not get to you. The enemy came to you and said, man, I'm going to give you silver and gold if you just do the will of the king. And he couldn't get to you.
Be best friends with the king.
So now you'll be best friends. So now the target is, all right, we cannot get to Mattathias. Let's try to get to the children. That's who they're always targeting. They're always targeting the kids. Look at the LGBT, that whole movement. That movement is not for you and I. The rainbow, all that, colorful, they're not targeting us. They not. Because they know, like, these Negroes from the 90s, all right, we can't get it. Well, they got some, they got some people, They got some brothers from the 90s, these man. These brothers, man. That's what happened when you didn't come to the ISUPK. That's what happened when you listen to the wicked men in Israel. You imagine you're in your 30s and your 40s and you got a woman that's humping you. It's just sad, man. They got some of our brothers. Read that again, Ashar. It's a lot. Sidebar real quick. It's a lot of madness going on in Israel, man. It's a lot of madness. In the ISUPK, we are here to clean that shit up.
That is a fact.
That's why we are not affiliated with any other Israelites group. We are not affiliated with y'all. Read, Ashar.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friend he shall rejoice of him.
He shall rejoice of him. Now read the next verse.
Verse 4. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he have left one behind him that is like himself.
Mattathias passed away. So now, what did that scripture say?
Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead.
He rose up in his stead. That means what? He took the place of his father. Read the next verse, Ashar.
Verse 5. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
6.
He left behind him an avenger.
He left what?
An avenger.
He left behind an avenger. That's who Mattathias left. Mattathias left an avenger. This is why chapter 3, verse 1 says what? Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead. Because now he is the one that's going to avenge his people, just like what his father was doing. Read it again.
Against his enemy.
Read it from the top.
He left behind him an avenger against his enemy, and one that shall requite kindness to his friend.
Exactly. He left an avenger to his enemies, man. So his enemy might think, you know what, Mattathias is gone. So now, let's go knock on Judah Maccabeus' door. Let's go offer him some silver and some gold.
Right.
He might accept. Nah, not when you raised up your son in the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High.
Right.
Because when you do so, you leave behind.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Clap it up, clap it up. Damn right, damn right. Yeah, shout out to the brothers out there on the East Coast, man. Yahweh Shem Shabarakatham, Yahweh Shamal Atham Shem Shad. This priest and officer Kakum Gabar coming to you live from the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? ISUPK, Iowa. We're here to break it down. What's today? Today is the Feast of Hanukkah, the Feast of Dedication. You understand? That's how you say it in English. Clap it up one more time. Give it up to the Most High God. Definitely, if you could, man, hit the like button, hit the share button so we can get the algorithm going. And I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching the brothers out there because they on a different time zone. So, you know, we had to definitely show what it is, you know what I'm saying, how we hold it down throughout the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? We got brothers on the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? But we right here in the Midwest. And today is Sunday, the 14th, sundown, and we are acknowledging the Feast of Dedication. You know what I mean? So a lot of people may not know what the Feast of Dedication is. You know what I mean? So, of course, around this time was holiday season. But you got Christmas coming up. You got Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? But guess what? We have a holy day that the Lord definitely charges us to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? The men of the Lord, the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I mean? We should follow the holy days of the Bible. You know what I mean? Now, if you've been tuning in the whole time, of course, the brothers done broke it down to you, and we're going to break it down once again. You know what I'm saying? Give you the precept upon precept, line upon line of what the Feast of Dedication is. You know what I mean? And like I said, definitely hit the like button, hit the share button. You know what I mean? And take notes if you can. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to show you what it is, what the Feast of Dedication is all about. Line upon line, here a little and there a little. You know what I mean? And first of all, like people will say, well, where's it at in the Bible? It's Christmas in the Bible. You know what I mean? It's Thanksgiving in the Bible. See, this is what we're supposed to be following. We're supposed to be following what the Bible speaks of. America is allegedly a Christian-based country, right? You know what I mean? So we would think we would follow what's in the Bible. You know what I mean? So today is one of them days where we follow what is written in the scriptures. And this is what we're supposed to have our families doing. You know what I'm saying? Your mom, your children, everybody's supposed to come back to the true holy days of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, what they're going to be doing, they're going to be doing Christmas. Is Christmas in the Bible? Yeah, it is. Christmas is in the Bible. So let's just show you exactly where Christmas is at in the Bible. You know what I mean? So let's go over here to the book of Jeremiah. You know what I mean? Because, of course, 2-3 weeks ago, however many weeks it was, everybody just sat around the dinner table, had their turkey, you know what I mean, and was celebrating a day that was honoring and acknowledging the slaughter of the Native American brothers, our Native American brothers and sisters, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And that's definitely nowhere in the Bible. You know what I mean? To acknowledge it. It's in the Bible, but it's not in the Bible the way you may think, just like Christmas is, which is coming up in a week or two. So let's go over here to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. And it says, Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. So we know that the Lord is speaking to who? The house of Israel. That's who the Most High God speaks to. He don't speak to anyone else. He don't speak to the Chinese people. He's not speaking to the Somalians. You know what I'm saying? The Somalians, they just they was up in Minneapolis. They just stole Christmas. They was like the Grits that stole Christmas. They done stole all the money from the autistic children, welfare fraud. You know what I mean? $1 billion. Good night. A whole billions of dollars worth of welfare that was supposed to be given to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, and we in America, the so-called Negro, we fought for all that civil rights and everything. You know what I mean? But guess what? These other nations, they come in to our neighborhoods and what? Then they own the BPs. They own the hotels, Wyndham, Super 8s. You go to get the hotel, you on the road somewhere, who's gonna be there? Habibi in there. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we're gonna speak about it probably next week too. The Chinese, man, they here in Iowa, they just did some they did a whole fraud too, where they're taking like the cooking oil and the money laundering with cooking oil, for crying out loud. Like we're gonna talk about that, of course, on heavy content. You know, check us out on Tuesday for that. But these other nations, they do nothing but come in here and spoil the children of Israel. And unfortunately, what do? We adhere to the ways of the heathen. Now you want to be a Muslim. You want to follow being a Muslim. You want to follow being Buddhist. You know what I'm saying? This and this and that. And matter of fact, to speak on shout out to everybody in the chat, you know what I mean? Let's see who's up in the chat. Shout out to Zara. Definitely Yahar Shemala Thamba Shimi Awashai. Shout out to Michelle Taylor, you know what I mean, out of Omaha, Nebraska. And shout out to Mana Ima, you know what I mean? Shout out to Ronnie, definitely. You know what I mean? And then to answer this question, it was posted a little while ago. Can you help us get reparations? No. Listen, the so-called white man will never give you reparations. They will never, ever give you reparations. No. If they was going to give you, well, we still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. They ain't going to give you that. But what they will do is they'll bring other people from other countries just to be above you. You know what I mean? They'll put them right in your neighborhood. They're going to give them all the Section 8 housing and low affordable housing. And then you got little India, little Chinatown, and while you're further and further oppressed. You know what I mean? And the reason why we're being oppressed is because you want to be like the other nations. You want to adhere to what they do. And who's our main oppressor? Who's the main other nations? Is the so-called white man. You know what I mean? So let's go back over here to the book of Jeremiah chapter 10. It says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Who's the house of Israel? That's you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You Benjamites, that's the Jamaicans. You Levites, that's the Haitians. You Manassites, that's the Cubans. You know, the Venezuelans, they the tribe of Israel too. What they doing? What they over there doing? They setting war against the Venezuelans. Donald Trump is literally raging war against the Venezuelans, blowing up little small fishing boats. Talk about they drug boats. You know what I mean? Just hitting them with drone strikes. But then they just seized the whole oil tanker with no foul play. I mean, it was all foul play, but no one got hurt. So you can take over a whole oil tanker ship, but you can't take over a little small vessel, a little small fishing vessel. You know what I mean? So it don't make no sense, that's because the white man got it out for the children of God. You know what I mean? So let's keep reading on. It says, verse number 2, Jeremiah 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Who is the heathen? The heathen is all the other nations that I just explained. The so-called white man, the Chinese man, the Arab man. Yeah, don't be like the Arab man going over there to Mecca, running around a rock and kissing on a rock with 1,000 people and kissed on it. Millions of people act that. Every year, what they call it, Hajj or something, you make your pilgrimage to Mecca. You know, like true, real Muslims, they're going to make their pilgrimage to Mecca. They're going to circle the Kaaba stone 7 times, and then they hope they could get in there, rub on it, touch it, and kiss on it. You know what I mean? And 1,000 million people done kissed on it damn near every other day. Don't be like the heathen. The Lord, the Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you supposed to follow the Most High God, the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? This is our culture. This is what we're supposed to come back to. You got to give up 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? When 4th of July come around, don't be dressing up in red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? And out there trying to be like the heathen, because at, what was it, 17? Well, when 16? When was Independence Day? No, it was 17 something. 17, whatever year it was, 17 something. Guess what? You was a slave. Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, you was being oppressed. But you want to celebrate 4th of July. You know what I mean? Easter. Easter's not in the Bible. Little bunny rabbits and Easter egg hunts and all that crap, that's not in the Bible. What's in the Bible? Passover. Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I'm saying? The Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles. And what's today? Today is the beginning of the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. You know what I mean? So let's keep reading. So this is Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. It says, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Reading on. Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. Who are the people? The people are the heathen. And their customs are vain. And what's one of their customs? For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. What is that? What happens when you go to the forest and you cut a tree out of the forest? Damn right, that's Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And then not alone you just cutting it out the forest, then what? Then you deck it with silver and with gold. What do you think they do during Christmas? They go to the forest, they cut the tree down, then they deck this, what's the song? Deck the halls of boughs of glory, or whatever, however it's called. You deck it with silver and gold. That's a whole Christmas tree. This is your Christmas right there in the Bible. And it's been, before it was called Christmas, which is now, this is a custom of the heathen. And it is vain. You know what I'm saying? It is vain to follow these certain traditions. And then everybody's going to be like, well, we do it for the kids. It's just a tradition. Listen, guess what? That's the traditions of men. Let me see. Yeah, the Bible tells you learn not the way, the traditions of men. Yeah, let's get that. Here we go. I think it's Mark. Let me see. The book of Mark. Yeah, the book of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 8. Right quick, let's bring it up. Mark 7 and 8. It says, let me share my screen. It says, for laying aside the commandment of God
See, what's the commandments of God? The Lord told us to do Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I'm saying? The Feast of Tabernacles, the blowing of the trumpets. You know what I'm saying? That's some of the commandments when it comes down to the holy days of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And what? You laid aside the commandments of God, but ye hold the traditions of men. You hold the traditions of men because you don't love the Most High God. You love your own vainglory. Matter of fact, go back up. What does it say right above that? Verse 7, howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. See, you do it in vain. Talk about it's for the kids, blah, blah, blah. We're doing it because it's tradition. The Lord cares not about your tradition. He wants you to keep what the commandments of God, his tradition. That's what he wants you to do. And that's what here in the UPK, we're going to show you what the tradition of the Most High God is all about. You know what I mean? And what? Not going and cutting a tree out of the forest and with the work of the hands of that workman with the axe. That's Christmas. And around this time, guess what? They put that holiday right around this time on purpose to get us away from acknowledging the truth of the Most High God. What's another tradition of men? Matter of fact, what's that other fake blackety black holiday? It's called Kwanzaa. See, niggas, they'll try to get away from, you know what I'm saying, being with the white man stuff, but then they'll just make up their own shit like, it's Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? But guess what they got Kwanzaa from? They pretty much, it's like a mixture of blackety black ideology and Hanukkah, because they still use the 7 candlesticks. That's what they do. So Kwanzaa, let me share my screen. Right here, Salakia. Kwanzaa is an annual celebration of so-called African-American culture from December 26th. So the dude, they created it. They just so happen to do it the day after Christmas. You know what I mean? So you can still celebrate Christmas, but then the next day, now we're going to do Kwanzaa, making it blackety black. You know what I mean? So December 26th to January 1st, culminating a communal feast called Karuma, usually on the 6th day. It was created by activist Maulana Karinga, which is some old African blackety black name that she or he just probably made up. You know what I mean? Based on African harvest festival traditions from various parts of West, East, as well as Southeast Africa. Reading on. Kwanzaa was first celebrated in 1966. So around this time, of course, black folks, you had the Black Panther movement. You had this, in fact, the UPK was started in 1969. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the Bible was always there. You know what I'm saying? Being an Israelite isn't something that's just brand new. You know what I mean? Being an Israelite goes back to the days of old. It was just the awakening of us being an Israelite on a mass level became more prevalent in 1969. But even before that, even Nat Turner knew he was an Israelite. He read that Bible. He knew that we were the people of the book. Harriet Tubman. Matter of fact, shout out to the Midwest Monster of Mayhem, Captain Marquardt. That's Harriet Tubman's like his people somewhere down the line. You know what I mean? And they done told stories about how Harriet Tubman knew. They call her the woman Moses, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Because she was leading people up out of captivity. You know what I mean? But around this time was a time of black, so-called black power empowerment. You know what I'm saying? People trying to seek out something. You know what I mean? But during this time, they created what? Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? So let's go down. American black separatists, Maulana Karenga created Kwanzaa in 1966 during the aftermath of the Watts riots. You know, as a non-Christian, specifically African-American holiday. So this is something to combat trying to not be a Christian, but still trying to, because, you know, they taught us the lie that we were African. So we will always cleave on to anything that was not non-white. You know what I mean? And so what they do, they created Kwanzaa. This is a brand new thing, but you could tell the spirit behind it because look, it still has the 7 candlesticks. And that comes from the Bible. That is the menorah. They just made it with the red, black, and green, like the blackity black movement. You know what I mean? There's no marvel behind that. And like you've seen earlier, you've seen the brothers, we have the 7 golden candlesticks because that's in the Bible. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, we are not supposed to learn the ways of the heathen, and we should not follow the traditions of men. We're supposed to follow what the Lord placed before us since the days of old. You know what I mean? So of course the Christians were like, well, Hanukkah and all that and Passover, that's all in the Old Testament. That's Old Testament. You know, but guess what? I thought you followed Christ, right? So Christ, guess what? He followed the Feast of Dedications also. You know what I mean? So let's go to where Christ did the same thing. So let's go over here to the book of John chapter 10. John chapter 10 in the King James version of the Bible, of course. John chapter 10 and is verse 22. Yeah, right here. So John, I'm sharing my screen. John 10 and 22. So this goes to Pastor Porkchop, Reverend Ribeye, and everybody else, you know what I mean, who don't want to follow this truth. You know what I mean? They want to follow Christmas. They want to follow the traditions of men, but allegedly they're supposed to be following the Most High God in Christ, right? So let's see what Christ was doing around this time. John 10 and 22, and it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication. So dedication in the is Hanukkah. That's just a literal translation. So how do you say dedication in Hebrew? Is Hanukkah. It's just word for word translation. So the feast of it was at the Feast of Dedication, and it was what? It was winter. So we know that the Feast of Dedication is during the winter time. You know what I mean? So there's no confusion of, well, how do you know it was around this time? How do you know that? Well, the Lord set down a calendar for us to know when Passover is. Passover is in the new year. That's the beginning of the year, in the springtime. The new year is not in the middle of dead cold. The new year is during the springtime when everything is growing again. You know what I'm saying? That's why the animals come out of hibernation, and then it's mating season. You know what I'm saying? Then they start to try to reproduce. The trees is growing back. The flowers is growing. The bees coming out. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is being renewed. You know what I'm saying? That's the new year. Not in the middle of the dead winter when everything's dead. All the leaves and fell off the trees. You know what I mean? Everything's bitter cold out. The animals is hibernating. You know what I'm saying? The birds done flew south. You know, that is not the new year. The new year is when the grass is green and everything is coming back. But guess what? When was this? The Feast of Dedication? During the winter. And Jesus walked into the temple of Solomon's porch. So during the Feast of Dedication, what is Christ doing? He's going to the Solomon's temple. So he's acknowledging this day. It's not that he was just going there just because. He's going there because this is a day that the Lord established through the men of the Lord. You know what I mean? And it says, then came out the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us doubt? So that's really neither here nor there. The point is that Christ was at Solomon's temple during the Feast of Dedication. So he acknowledged this. You know what I mean? He acknowledged the Feast of Dedication. If it wasn't important to him, he would have never went. He would have been doing something else. Just like how Christ celebrates the Passover, which the world ignorantly calls the Last Supper and ignorantly calls Easter. During that time, it's not the Last Supper, it's not Easter, it's the Passover. That dinner that they was having was Passover dinner, when you eat the lamb and the unleavened bread. You know what I mean? See, this is what we're supposed to adhere to. Not Christmas, not Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? But where do you find the Feast of Dedication in the Bible? Other than right there, because the Feast of Dedication isn't in Genesis to Revelations, besides right here in the book of John. So where is and what is the Feast of Dedication about? The only place where you could, and then also if you ever talk to the small hats, they'll have to acknowledge this too. Ask a small hat, so you guys do Hanukkah, right? Blah, blah, blah. They'll be like, yes, of course. Shalom. You know what I mean? But where is the Feast of Dedication? Ask them where do you read that at? Because it's not in the book of Genesis to the book of Revelations. So where is it at? So where it's at is in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is a book that was taken out by the Protestants or certain Christian denominations. Now, if you buy a 1611 Bible, then you'll get the Apocrypha in the middle. It becomes in between the book of Malachi and the book of Matthews. Now, during this time was an era because there's so many different empires. You know, during the time of Moses, you had the Egyptian Empire. Then you had the Assyrian Empire. Then you had the Assyrian and Babylonian Empire. And then you had the Persian Medo Empire. Then you had, so around the time of Malachi or whatnot was the end of the Persian Empire. You know what I mean? But then from Malachi to Matthew, it jumps. It just goes straight into the New Testament, and then it's the Roman Empire. See, they forgot a whole empire. Now, what is this empire? The empire was what? The Grecian Empire. That was when the white man first came into power. So let's read. Let's go over here. Now, this is the Apocrypha. If you want to, you could go to King James Bible online, scroll way down to the bottom. Well, that ain't it here. Let me show you how to do it. So you go to www.kingjamesbibleonline.org. You scroll way down to the bottom. And right here, it says what? The KJV Apocrypha. You click on it, boom. It got all this brief history about the Apocrypha. And then these are all the books of the Apocrypha. So this ain't no random book. You know what I mean? This is a book that was in the original 1611 Bible. You know what I mean? Like, you know how people be like, man, you ever heard about the book of Enoch and the book of Jubilees? And see, all those books, those were books at one time, but they don't have the the manuscripts that are official for us to adhere to that. The Apocrypha does. You know what I mean? The book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, the book of Jubilees, and all those different books, they're just a book of a book. You know what I mean? Now, were they real books at one time? Are they referenced in the Bible? Yes, but they don't have the correct manuscripts for us to follow those. You know what I mean? But now we're talking about the book of the Apocrypha, and we're going to go to the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. First Maccabees, chapter 1. And so it says right here, and it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian. Everything good with that? Or it'll go out.
Plastic.
What plastic? No, that's metal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. No, that's too wild. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's metal. It ended up going out.
If it's metal, then we got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's metal. Yeah, Salaki. Yeah, we over here talking about the menorah. We got the menorah burning, you know, the 7 golden candlesticks you did. Of course, this is a Hanukkah. But yeah, so let's go back to the scriptures. And it says, and it happened after that, Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian. So who is Alexander, the son of Philip? Anybody want to take a guess? In history, who do you think this is referring to? Just think of somebody in history that's a great, yeah. But what do they call him though? They call him, see, in the world, in secular history, they call him Alexander the Great. Well, of course, he is not great in the eyes of Israel. You know, the white man called him great because this is when the white man came to power. Before that, the white man really wasn't in power. The Persians were. You ever seen 300? Everybody done seen 300. What was it? Xerxes. And he was what called Xerxes the Great. He was the one with the big empire and all that. And the Grecians, they slowly came to fame. They came to rose to power. But when they rose to power, it was underneath who? Alexander, the son of Philip. That's who he really is. Yeah. Shout out to Maniama. Yes, Alexander the Great. And he was definitely not great. So during this time, this man came to power. He was a homosexual. He was a deviant. And he was a pagan. And he was Esau. Everything that Esau is to this day. It was the embodiment of him. He was a young man. He was a warrior. You know what I mean? But he was blessed with the sword like Esau. Esau was blessed with the sword. You know what I mean? So keep reading. And it says, who came out of the land of Kittim and had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and the Medes. So there was a king named Darius who would have been somewhat similar like King Xerxes, like in the movie 300. He was the last reigning in power during the time of the Persians. Who are the Persians today? The Persians are your Iranians. They are the modern day Persians. But they've never lost their territory. They've been in the same spot this whole time. And they're a pivotal part of biblical prophecy and history. They know what's up. They know who we are. They know that the Israelis that they're banging with all the time, they know them ain't the original Israelites. You know what I mean? But they just fighting for power. And it says, what? And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. So Alexander, the so-called great, he rose up to power and he made many wars, won many strongholds, slew many kings. So he slew King Darius. He slew this king, probably some African kings. And matter of fact, let's just get a visual. Alexander the Great territory. So let's get some, because you know, black people, we are visual people. We like to see maps and whatnots. So let's get it. Yeah, Alexander the so-called Great. Let's get the map though. Salakia, bear with me. Bear with me, Israel. What's that? Oh. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Hit the like button if y'all could one more time. You know what I mean? Hit the share button. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what your mama, your daddy, your sisters, your cousins, your TTs, this is what they need to be understanding. Not Christmas. I just need the map. Salakia. Trying to get a map. All right, here's a world map. This ain't the best map, but yeah. So right here, Alexander, the so-called Greek, this was his empire. So he ruled all this. Now, at this point in time, this was one of the largest empires known to man. He reigned. That's a vast amount of empire. I can't make it no bigger for some reason. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Most High in Christ. Yeah. So he reigned all that. He took over this is Greece over here. This is Greece. So he took over Egypt. That's why what they got down in Egypt, they call it they got a city called Alexandria. You know what I'm saying? There was the library, a library down there that he had. You know what I mean? Spread through Egypt, spread through the Judea, which is that little shiver right there, and then went over here to the Persian Empire, took them all over. You know what I mean? Now at this time, this was pretty much the known world. So he conquered what was the known world at that time. You was about to say something? And so this is what was going on. So let's go back to the book of First Maccabees. He said he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. Verse 3, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So yeah, he done went conquering and conquering and conquering to the point where now his heart is lifted up. He's like, man, who could tear me down? I'm Alexander the Great. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm ruling this, I'm ruling that. This is my empire. Hey, and he did it swiftly. Like the Bible says, as swift as the eagle flieth. You know what I mean? That's how the so-called oppressor, that's what they do. They go as swift as the eagle flieth. You know what I mean? Reading on. And it says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. So now, underneath Alexander the Greek, he got all these different provinces and tributaries, and they're all bowing down to him. So he's done created this big empire, you know what I mean, and made everybody bow down to him. Now, of course, us being in Judea, now this is before we went into captivity, the diaspora, I should say. We were right in the midst of it, right there. So just like when we was in the Roman Empire or whatever empire, see, but them guys, instead of carrying us away captive, like the Persians did, they just encamped around us. It was like, shit, we just gonna rule on you while you right there. You know what I mean? Like The Persians, they carried us away captive into where they was. I mean, not the Persians, but the Babylonian Empire. They carried us away captive into Babylon. You know what I mean? But then the Persians came to power and they beat the Babylonian rulers, and then they allowed us to go back to Judea to rebuild Judea. You know what I mean? And at the same now, after the Persians done got moved out the way, now Alexander and his hosts is all spread around us. You know what I mean? So we got our own city or whatnot in our own country, but they're just encamped around us. You know what I mean? So let's keep reading. Let's jump down to verse 10. And it says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So now by this time, matter of fact, I skipped it. Alexander, he ended up falling sick to die for time's sakes. And then Alexander, he only reigned for 12 years. That was it. But that 12 years was swift and crucial. He was going around conquering and conquering for that 12. He was a young man. I think he was only in his 20s. You know what I mean? So just imagine how quick you taking over all these nations in 12 years.
Did he take up with Cleopatra?
Yeah, him. Him and Cleopatra. Yeah, because he went down to Egypt. You know what I mean? No, matter of fact, no. Cleopatra. She ended up getting up with that was years later. That was Mark Antony. Yeah, that was Mark Antony. Yeah, he was a Roman general, if I'm not mistaken. But that was years later. But he made a city called Alexandria down there. You know what I mean? It might have been years. I can't remember exactly the exact timeline, but no, he wasn't the one that got up with Cleopatra. But he did take over Egypt, as we see as the map shows. But yeah, let's keep reading. Now, surname Antiochus Epiphanes came through, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And it says, in those days went throughout of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. So during this time, the so-called Grecians, they're round about us. And you got coon ass niggas who done went and now they want to make allies with the so-called Greeks. You know what I mean? They want to make allies just like how you see today. You know what I mean? You got your politicians. Matter of fact, who was that cat we interviewed during the food? His name was Isaac Knox. That was his name. You know what I mean? He's linking up with the heathen, chucking and jiving, marrying their women. You know what I mean? And hey, doing whatever they can. It's like, if you can't beat them, join them, pretty much. Thinking you can make a change from within. And matter of fact, going back to what Leonard Pryor said, is we going to get reparations? No, they'll never give it. Like, we ain't finna beat them, join them, since we can't beat them to get our reparations. We ain't getting no reparations. The only thing that's going to repair us is coming back to the Most High God, following His law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? Stop being murderers. Stop being whores. Stop being drug dealers. You know what I mean? Stop being Christians. Stop being Muslim. Stop being Buddhist. You want to get repaired? Come back to the Most High God. You know what I mean? Let's keep going. So yeah, wicked men out of Israel persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen. and this device pleased them well. You know what I mean? So let's read down. Let's go to the chapter. So for time's sakes, I'm not gonna read everything. You know what I mean? Because but read the book of Maccabees, and you'll see how us as a nation, the Greeks came in and conquered everything around about us and wanted us to bow down to them. Just like how it is today. The white man wants you to be bowed down to them. Like right here. Antiochus, what he made war with Ptolemy, the king of Egypt, but Ptolemy was afraid of him and he fled, and many were wounded to death. So now they got Egypt. Thus they got strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof. So now they're just conquering everything. You know what I'm saying? Right here. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. Now he had returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. You know what I'm saying? So now this king, he done came up against Egypt, took them down. Now he's doubling back. So let's go back to the map. So he done went down, took down Egypt. Now he's coming back up. And now he's coming to take us down too. You know what I mean? This is a wicked king during this time. It's like I wasn't even sharing the screen. Yeah. So he went down to Egypt, came back up. Now he's coming at Israel. Let's get it. And it says, and what? And entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof. So what's the candlestick? That's the menorah. You understand? Matter of fact, is that put out all the way? Let me see that so I can show it on the screen. Yeah, the 7 golden candlesticks. You know what I mean? So here's a menorah. Everybody knows what a menorah is. You know what I mean? Just like how where was we at? The fake blackety black dude created his fake little holiday called Kwanzaa after traditions of men. They hijacked it and made the Kwanzaa stick. You know what I mean? Talk about it's the 7 candles, and Kinara symbolizes the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And we ain't even gonna go into what those principles are. But guess what? This is the 7 golden candlesticks is what the spirit of the Lord rests in. This is what we had in the temple in Jerusalem. It wasn't no little one like this though. It was big. Matter of fact, let me here the water. Let me see if I can find a I'm trying to remember the name of that. I think it was called the Roman Arch. So like it, bear with me. So y'all can see it. So they got a whole monument right here. Yeah. They got a whole monument celebrating this. It's called the Arch of Titus. That's not the best. Salakia, let's go back. I want to show the whole thing, but that one was trash. Now, this was during the Roman Empire, though, Vespasian and Titus, when they ransacked Jerusalem. But I'm just trying to give you a visual. So this is probably the best I could get. Salakia. So right here, it's called the Arch of Titus. Now, you could barely see it, but right here it shows the Romans going in to our temple and taken the menorah proudly. You know what I mean? So this was like the second time that didn't happen in this relief right here. But the first time it happened was during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. So right here it says, what? And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and candlesticks of light and all the vessels thereof. So he done desecrated the Lord's temple. You know what I mean? Underneath the Grecians, the so-called white man, the East Edomites, they done came in, and this is before the Roman Empire, by the way. They came in, took everything up out the temple because we was defeated at the time. And the table of showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, and all which he pulled off. So they done went into the Lord's temple and just ransacked it, took everything. You know what I mean? What does it say? He took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures he found. See, the temple of the Most High God, that's holy to us. You know what I mean? That was like you going in there and you just take everything that was precious to us, everything that the priest had laid out. This is something that every man, woman, and child during that time, we honored that temple. You know what I mean? It's like going in your grandma's house and you stepped on the couch. Nigga, you remember you wasn't supposed to sit on that couch. They got plastic on the couch. And the nigga, just imagine nigga just going in there like, nigga, fuck your couch. Salakia. That's what it was like at grandma's house. You know what I mean? So he just ran in there and ransacked the whole temple. You know what I mean? Reading on. And it says, and when he had taken all away, he went to his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proudly. So he took everything up out the temple, and then he went to the crib and boasted about it. Like, yeah, man, shit, I just went in there. Man, I got them for all they shit. You know what I mean? Man, shit, you know how now they call you a nigger. Them niggers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we took all their nigger items. That's what it was like. That was the white man. He came up in our shit, took everything, and then he went to the crib and was like, yeah, boasted. You know what I mean? So reading on. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were. So we was mourning. We're like, damn, man, how can this happen? You know what I mean? They done came into the temples. They done took everything from us. Like, shit, it's like it's all bad. You know what I mean? So at this time, now we need some brothers to stand up. And this is where you get the family of the Maccabees come up. The Maccabean family was a family who was standing on business. They wasn't having that. You know what I mean? There were certain families who was just like it said, there were certain men who were wicked. Wicked men who they was basically cooning with the white man. You know what I mean? Then you had people who were cowards. You had coward people. You know, reading on, I'm just going to kind of gloss over it. That you had people that didn't even want to fight on the Sabbath day. They like, oh, that's your old Shabbat Shalom type niggas. Where you just every day, you don't even want to cook on the Sabbath day. You don't want to do nothing. You ain't even going to turn the light on. You know what I mean? You just going to cower up. And you see this enemy coming, but guess what? You're going to go hide in the cave somewhere. During that time, this is what was going on. We at war. See, every holy day is about acknowledging us overcoming our oppressor. Passover, we were free from being enslaved. You know what I mean? The Feast of Tabernacles, that's us remembering how we got free from being a slave when we was in the wilderness. You know what I mean? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, that's us remembering that when we left from our oppressor, we was moving quick. We didn't have the leavening agent, so we had to eat unleavened bread. And we remember these things on how the Lord was our salvation. This is what every holy day is about. But no, guess what? You want to celebrate Thanksgiving. That's about the destruction of your people. Christmas ain't about us or anything. Now they're going to claim it was Jesus's birthday. That's a damn lie. Jesus was not born in the middle of wintertime. There's nowhere where you can see that. You know what I mean? I showed you where the Christmas trees at in the Bible, and what did the Lord say? Learn not the ways of the heathen. He says, I hate and I despise your feast days. Reading on, let's get it. So yeah, during this time, we needed a family to stand up to rise for Israel. And it says right here, after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. So now they done took us down. They done ransacked the temple. And now guess what? Now they coming to collect taxes. You know what I mean? So let's jump down here to verse 41. Let me see, matter of fact, yeah, so all this is a great, you know what I'm saying? You read the whole book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and it shows you it, you know what I'm saying? For time's sake, I can't read all of it, but it shows you how the so-called white man came to power, and underneath Alexander the Great, then Antiochus Epiphanes, and they was just there just being the devils that they are. You know what I'm saying? Let's read 36. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it. So they was killing people inside the temple. They was slaughtering swine on the altar. We don't even eat swine, and you just go in there and you just put swine's blood all on the Lord's altar. Verse 38, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. So now you, like I said, you had people scared. You had cowards, they going in, like I said, they going into the caves and all type of shit. Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. So now you got heathens living in our own city. You know what I mean? That's called gentrification. This is gentrification back in the day. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be it was a city full of niggas. They came in there doing all their wickedness, and the next thing you know, now it's filled with strangers. And it says, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. So now, when it came down to us celebrating Passover, it was all bad. You know what I mean? Because the whole city is filled with heathens. The temple is ransacked. They just up in there doing whatever they want. It was kind of like, I know y'all seen The Lion King. And remember when Scar took over the kingdom? And it was all dark and gloomy. You know, Pride Rock was filled with bones. You know what I mean? That's what it was like. It was like when Scar took over Pride Rock. And that was a symbolism of the so-called white man. You know what I mean? That's what it was like when the Grecians came into Judea and took over our temple. And it says, as had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. So all the excellency of our kingdom was turned into mourning. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. What's that sound like? That sounds like America. Everybody's equal, well, allegedly. We all be one. We are the world. We are the children. Let's all be one people. Every man's created equal, allegedly. That's what they claim. Well, this is the place of freedom and prosperity. You know what I mean? But that's a lie. But guess what? He's going to tell you we should all be one people so you don't have your individuality. So now you no longer want to be the chosen children of God. Now you just want to be, I'm just an American. You ask a nigga, oh man, listen, you the children of God. Nah, man, I'm just an American. You know what I mean? Man, you from the tribes of Judah? Man, shit, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an American. Yeah, that's what it was like. And it says, verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So now, hella Israelites, now you done cooned out. Now you done went to his religion. What's that? That's pretty much Christianity. You know what I mean? You done left the truth, the law, statutes, and commandments, following the Passover, circumcising your children, all that. And now, because we done lost a battle or two, you're like, well, shit, I guess we just going to be following the Grecians. Now they're following, what's all these Greek gods? Give me a couple of them. Zeus. Because you got to remember, these are the Greeks. Apollo. All of them. You know what I mean? All these different Greek gods and goddesses. Janus. That's January. Saturn. That all the planets, for crying out loud, are named after a goddamn fake Greek god. You know what I mean? So this is where was the emboldenment of the so-called white man. This is when the white man really took over, and they took over our sanctuary, and a lot of our people became coons and start being just like the white man. They're following their religion. You know what I mean? Now, fast forward, let's go over here to the book of First Maccabees still, but now we're going to fast forward to chapter 4. Chapter 4. And so, mind you, like I said, for time's sake, we had that, there was family, like a lot of people were cowering away. But then you had a family, you had the Maccabean family, and they rose up against the so-called white man. They stood with the Most High God. It was like David and Goliath. You know what I mean? That who cared that they had this vast empire? You know what I mean? Stretching from way over here to Persia to way over here to Rome, all the way down to Egypt. It's us against them, back against the wall, against all odds. You know what I mean? And guess what happened? We took over. We took back our temple, and we won those battles because the Maccabean family was not taking no slack. You know what I mean? They wasn't backing down. They wasn't cowering. They stood with the Most High God. And that's what it's about, people. You need to stand with the Lord. That's why we be like, man, listen, we got to separate from the world. Where we going to go? What we going to do? Man, listen, when you stand with the Lord, it don't matter. The Egyptian army could be right here and the water be right there. And guess what? The Lord's going to make a way. You ain't never supposed to give up. Never lose faith. Never lose your honor and your integrity.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it's about. Never like there was a woman and her family, she took death over dishonor. They wanted her to eat swine's flesh. I ain't gonna get the story for time's sake, but it's in the Apocrypha. She, instead of her eating that swine, she died. Her and her sons. There was other people who folded. They ate the swine. But she died for that, for the name, honor, integrity, and glory of the Most High God. You understand? So let's read a little bit right here. Let's go over here to the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 4. And let's get to the point. So after everything, we done had battles, you know what I'm saying? And we done won these battles. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, now that we won these battles, now this is true Thanksgiving. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and chapter 4, verse 25 says, thus Israel had a great deliverance that day. And now all the strangers that had escaped came and told Lysias what happened. You know what I mean? So we done had a deliverance and we beat them. You know what I'm saying? We beat them out the land. You know what I'm saying? It says what? They fled everyone into the land of the strangers. Then Judas Maccabees. See, now Judas in the New Testament was a wicked ass nigga. But Judas Maccabees, he was a soldier. Judas just means Judah. It's just like another name. Just like how you got more than one Mikes, more than one this, more than one that. It's just the one that we know the most is Judas Iscariot, which was the snitch, you know, unfortunately. But Judas Maccabees, remember him. He was the soldier that held it down. And what he returned the spoil, he returned to spoil the tents where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea and great riches. You know what I mean? Let me get this. So we had a great deliverance that day. And what? Let's go over here to verse 33. And it says, and we cast them down with the sword of them that love thee, and let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving. See, this is the Thanksgiving that was thankful for. You know what I mean? Not the Thanksgiving of the slaughtering of the Native Americans. We gave a praise of thanksgiving to the Most High God for us having a victory over our enemies. And this is during the Feast of Dedication. You know what I mean? So let's jump all the way down so we could get to the point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Judas Maccabees, he fights against them. He appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So now he done took over, he done cleansed the sanctuary, we didn't get it, we getting it back. You know what I'm saying? And he chose priests of blameless conversation, such that had pleasure in the law. And these brothers, they had pleasure in the law. They wasn't cooning, shucking and jiving. They had pleasure in the law. They wanted to rededicate the temple back to the Most High God. And that's what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? And they cleanse the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it'd be best to pull it down. So now they're just getting rid of all the foul shit that the heathen, they done put swine's blood all over this. So man, get it out of here. Pack that shit up and we're going to rebuild this shit. You know what I mean? Let's get straight to the point. 52. So now they done, okay, right here. And it says, they made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick. What's the candlestick? The menorah that we've been talking about. and the altar of burnt offerings and the incense of the table. And upon the altar they burnt incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlesticks, they lighted it, that they may give light in the temple. So this is why we light the menorah. You understand? That's why we light the 7 golden candlesticks, because now we done rededicated the temple, and they lit the light into the temple to give it light inside of the temple. And it says, furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the veils and finished all the works which they had begun. And it says, now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th year, they rose up bedtimes in the morning. So today, which is, it says it's the 12th month. Today they say we're in the 12th month, the 14th day. But technically, this is the 9th month, the 25th day of the 9th month of the Hebrew calendar. Because the so-called white man got the calendar all fucked up, Salakia. You know what I mean? And it says, and they offer sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar. And it says, look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that, it was dedicated with songs and with cisterns and harps and cymbals. Then all the people fell on their face, worshiping and praising the Most High in heaven, and had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance of praise. So this is what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? We're honoring the dedication back to the temple of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? That we won the victory over the white man during this time. And guess what? We got rid of all the desecrated things, and we rededicated the temple back to the Lord, you know what I'm saying, with all the holy things. You know what I mean? Verse 57. And it says, they deck also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers, they renewed it and hanged doors upon them. You understand? Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away. You understand? Verse 59, moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in a season from year to year by the space of 8 days from the 25th day of the month Caslu with mirth and gladness. So yeah, let's give the Most High God a hand for that. And that's what we're doing, man. We keeping this dedication from year to year, just like they did in the days of old. You understand? We ain't doing Christmas. You understand? We ain't doing Thanksgiving. This is, we give praise at Thanksgiving when we win the victories over our enemies. Now, do we have a physical temple to this day? No. That got ransacked in 70 AD. But right now, you are the temple. So let's go over here to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. See, but we're still going to keep the Feast of Dedication. But guess what? 3 and 16, it says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? We are the temple. And right now, what you need to do in this time, you need to dedicate your temple back to the Most High God. Dedicate yourself to the Lord. That's the spiritual aspect of it. The spiritual aspect of this is you dedicating your temple back to the Lord. Stop being a whore. Stop being a drug dealer. Stop being a murderer. Stop being all the things that desecrates God's temple. Cleanse your temple. If you need to, do it fast. so you can get those demons up out of you. Cleanse your temple and dedicate it back to the Most High God. You understand? But with that, oh, you want something to say?
I just want to say, you already said it, but you know, hearing the history of why we celebrate these feast days compared to like why we celebrate things in the world, right? This has a real live historical reason, right? Someone took our shit, we got our shit back, and now we're celebrating how we were victorious over them, right? Versus a fat guy came down a chimney,
right?
I guess he took some cookies, right? And then he gave some presents, allegedly, because I think my mother gave me whatever was under that tree when I was in the world. But the real historical like things that happened to our people, and then or they're taking things that were actually tragedies, like the massacring, the rape of our people, or rape of our people, and trying to make it into something positive that we sit around table on the day that they massacred hundreds and hundreds of people to say thank you,
right?
You know. But here's a real reason how your people overcame something, and now y'all don't want to celebrate.
Right. Yeah, damn right, man. Give her a hand. Yeah, damn right. Yeah, see, we're not doing no fictitious celebrations. We ain't doing little Easter egg hunts with the little Easter egg bunny. You know what I mean? We, like she said, fat dude coming down the chimney. You done worked all year, and then you done dedicated all these good hard work presents to the goddamn fat white man, who's basically like God. Because what he knows, yeah, then they're gonna call you a nigga in the end. He knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. So be good for goodness sake. That sounds like God to me. You know, you're gonna dedicate that. No, dedicate going back to the Most High God. This is the feast of dedication. We're gonna dedicate this to the Most High God, to the men of the Lord who's standing on business and not cowering and going with the status quo because you want to be like the white man, because you're afraid to go against your enemy. No, see, us in the UPK, it's no cowards. You understand? And we ain't going to be affiliated with any other group. I pray you understand. You know, but with that, you know, I appreciate everybody coming out and everybody tuning in. And but this is the UPK security announcements, and we have started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves for the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. And after that 6 months period, if a brother or sister has a interest in a particular person, they would get permission from the heads to speak to their brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court another. And after that 6 months period, they would get permission from the heads to marry. Ties, that's a commandment. You can find that in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21. Malachi, chapter 3, 8 through 10. And that means a tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. That's 10% of whatever the Lord gives you. You could get that to the Treasury Department or to the teacher. A priest fund or free will offering for a priest, that is not mandatory. It's whatever, how much you would like. And the upcoming holy convocations, well, we got the Feast of Purim. Yeah. Well, today, of course, is the Feast of Hanukkah. Well, that's an 8-day feast. So we got the closing of the Feast of Hanukkah, which is in 8 days. So that would be next Monday. Next Monday is the closing of the feast. And so we'll read more because we didn't get it all out, but we'll read more into it. It's an 8-day feast, people. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. Link up with the family, with your brothers and sisters in your area. You know what I mean? And eat food, play spades, and have some strong and do what thus saith the Lord. You understand? But after that, we have the Feast of Purim. That is the last holy day of the year. And that would be in if I'm not mistaken, I think that I don't have the exact date on that. I'll get back with y'all on that. But I think it might be in March, if I'm not mistaken. February or March, around up in there. But yeah, if any brother wants to join the school, man, wear all black, boots, headbands, war scarf, you know what I mean? And with that, we're going to give a salute. So, men of Israel means Amajim, which means to stand. So, yeah, the men stand. And then we do Amajim Shabbat. What? No, you don't got to say it. And then Amajim like this. And we go Yahweh.
Really?
Yeah. Yahweh. Ba'ashim. Yahweh Shah. Barak. Atah. Y'all Matah means hands down. We're going to turn to the sisters. Sisters Amajim, which means to stand. And then the men of Israel, we're going to give a salute to the sisters. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh. Shamar. Al. Athan. Bahashim. Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh. Shamar. Al. Athan. Bahashim. Yahweh Shah.
Yeah, I'm the top class. On time. Right. Yeah.
We're in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on the speech, man. I'm ready down right to go.
Don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine. Big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slip throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya, off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka, equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer, since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not in China. My conglomerate wreck like King Konga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring karma. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stay true, kept shit pure, my name honor. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect. Pay homage that I'm One West bred, One West vetted, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, One West when I start. I said I've been One West bred, One West vetted, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, One West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now One West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be War the King and stay down.
Go ahead, though. Run it back.
Yeah, so we got heavy content with Officer Design and Officer Kakam. You know what I'm saying? On Tuesdays, we get that going on. You know what I'm saying?
Destruction is on the way, man. That lake of fire is right here.
You never know who we gonna have on here, man. But you can't expect Priest and Officer Kakungaba, man. He gonna be on here faithfully.
First woe was passed, the second woe passed,
and the third woe coming quickly. You understand? They over there going nuts in the Middle East. And it's not gonna let up.
We're not here for your feelings. You understand me? So if you all in your feelings, you just such emotional person, man, you might want to tune in to Joel Osteen.